I live on a quiet street where nothing much happens, so when a new neighbour moved in, I noticed straight away. It seemed normal at first. Vans unloading, boxes everywhere, the usual stuff. But something about this new neighbour didn't feel right. They kept to themselves and never came out to chat or even wave hello. In our friendly neighbourhood, that stood out. One evening, I saw them through the window while I was taking the bins out. They were peeking through their curtains, watching the street like they were waiting for something or maybe hiding from it. I thought it was strange, but didn't think much about it. People are private, right? But then it got weirder. Weeks passed, and I realised I'd never seen them leave the house, not even once. No grocery shopping, no walks, nothing. They only opened the door to pick up deliveries, looking around nervously before closing it quickly. I started paying more attention. Every night, their lights flickered at odd times like someone was pacing back and forth. Sometimes I heard strange noises, like muffled talking or the sound of something heavy being dragged across the floor. It was unsettling and I felt curious. What were they doing in there all alone? One afternoon I decided to introduce myself. I baked some cookies as an excuse and knocked on their door. It took a while, but finally they opened it just a little. I barely saw their face, just enough to see they looked tired, with dark circles under their eyes. "Hi, I'm from next door. I thought I'd welcome you to the neighbourhood," I said, holding out the cookies. They took them without saying much and mumbled something about being busy. The door shut before I could even ask their name. That night, I couldn't sleep. Something about them bothered me like a puzzle with missing pieces. The next day, I did a bit of snooping. I chatted with the postman, who told me he never actually saw the neighbour, just found strange letters in the postbox. No names, no address, just blank envelopes. The more I heard, the stranger it got. A few nights later, I noticed the lights flickering again, but this time I saw something odd. A shadow of another person. I thought the neighbour lived alone, so who was that? I decided to look into it more. I searched online but couldn't find anything about the new resident. No social media, no news, nothing. It was like they didn't exist. Then, I got lucky. A friend of mine works at the council, and she checked the records for me. The name didn't match the face I'd seen. The person living there was supposed to be someone else, a woman who was reported missing years ago and thought to be dead. My heart raced. Who was my neighbour, really? And why were they pretending to be someone else? I kept thinking about the shadow I'd seen and the neighbour's strange behaviour. It all made sense now. They were hiding, running from something or someone. I couldn't stop myself. I needed to know more. One night, when the lights were flickering again, I sneaked over and peeked through the small gap in their curtains. What I saw made my stomach drop. They were burning papers in a metal bin, looking over their shoulder every few seconds, like they were expecting someone to show up. That's when it hit me. They were trying to erase their past. Maybe they were hiding from the police, or worse, hiding from someone dangerous. The more I thought about it, the more confused I felt. I didn't know what to do. Should I go to the police? But what if their story was more complicated? What if they were running from something terrible and just needed a fresh start? I found myself stuck. On one hand, they had taken the identity of a missing person, someone believed to be dead. That wasn't right. But on the other hand, they seemed desperate, almost scared. I wondered if exposing them would make things worse, not just for them, but for whoever might be after them. In the end, I decided to talk to them directly. I knocked on their door again, and this time they opened it wider. I told them I knew who they were, or at least who they weren't. They looked scared at first, but then their shoulders slumped. They told me they were hiding from a dangerous past, something they couldn't face. They had taken the identity of someone else to start over, to feel safe. I listened, and by the time they finished, I was no longer sure what was right or wrong. I had a choice to make. Should I help them stay hidden, or should I bring everything into the open? I knew that whatever I chose, there would be consequences, not just for them, but for me too. As I walked away, I realized some secrets are heavy, and sometimes the right thing isn't always clear.